When God created the world, it was on his own initiative. There was no one to ask him, no one to respond to him. So he did it himself. He became the king of the world for the first time without anyone coronating him. But after that first time, God wants us to verify every year that we in fact want him to be our king. Because a king is not a dictator. The Hebrew word melech is not the same as the Hebrew word moshel. Moshel means a ruler. He rules whether you like it or not. But a king is a king to his people. It has to be from the people, a free choice. It's not exactly an election, but the people appoint a king over themselves. So since creation, every year on Rosh Hashanah, the anniversary of creation, God wants us to coronate him king. Now, if we don't, which is hard to even imagine, if we don't, he will be the king anyway, because the world must go on. But then he is king without pleasure, or with the same pleasure as last year and not more. But in order for something to be alive, to be vibrant, the pleasure has to increase, at least from one year to the next. To some degree, it should increase from 1 month to the next, from 1 week to the next, even from hour to hour. This year, when we blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, we coronate God as the king of the world, not as the king of Israel or the king of the Jewish people, the king of the world. And we say special prayers, thanking God, telling God that we don't want any other king. We don't want anyone else taking care of the world. We want only him. That adds a new pleasure to his running the world, maintaining the world, being master of the universe. There's a special pleasure in it when we ask him, when we tell him that we want him to be our king, that it's not impersonal, it's not just business, it's really intimate. He wants us and we want him. That's a living relationship, a growing relationship. So this year on Rosh Hashanah, God will have a special pleasure in being the king of the world for all people of the world. More different and new, a pleasure that has never existed before. More pleasure, more blessings. So when God has more pleasure in being our king, we get more blessings from God. So it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a year of pleasure, a year of blessings, a year of peace. And the surprises of this past year, and it was a year of surprises, all of those surprises will turn into one huge blessing for the entire world. People will be better people. Jews will be devoted to Judaism, and the earth will provide us with the greatest wealth so that we won't have to compete, and we won't have to worry, and we won't have to be greedy in order to make a living and to have what we need, because nature can provide it all if we just let. If we just have goodwill, then God's blessings can be infinite. Happy New Year.